violate my... What are you doing? Why are you assaulting me? 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 Right. Why are you assaulting me? I'm going to complain about this constable. What's your number, please? No, I can't see it anywhere. I'm looking at you. I can't see it. Where? 2406. What's your name? 340.
Answer questions.
Sir, can you remove your hand from your pocket while you speak to me?
But I don't allow any searches or seizures of any of my possessions. Alright, he's illegally searching my back right pocket.
Cops are supposed to know the law, but some think they're above it. These dirty cops picked the wrong suspects to mess with, and it ended badly for them. When they tried to abuse their power, they ran into people who knew their rights and refused to back down. Get ready, because these cases prove that some people aren't willing to be bullied by a badge.
You are on private property.
No,
I'm going to ask you to leave.
Listen, can I just explain something?
You listen to me.
Oh, no,
You're
so
on
you want to
private
give me
property.
directives?
I'm directing you to leave my premises.
Your premises?
Yes.
This man decided to test how much police officers respect citizens' constitutional rights. He went to the police station and found the entrance where officers come and go and began filming their reactions. However, what was supposed to be a simple exercise in civil law meant to cause no incident escalated into a case where corrupt cops picked the wrong suspect, and it ended badly for them.
Oh, I think that's a custody suite. I only think that because I hear that horrible beep sound that I remember from being in there. I'm hoping that it's you picking up my voice on my phone. No, I can hear some sounds coming out of that fan. Yeah, something's going on in there. I can hear some shit happening. Anyway, let's get some shots with the camera. We get some video.
It didn't take long for the first female officers to step in and turn this routine encounter into a textbook example of cops ditching their own rulebook while desperately clinging to authority they don't actually have. The man, fully aware of their rights, is being casually shoved out of the public space with nothing but "because I said so" as justification. But trust me, this was just the beginning of their power-hungry tactics.
Hello.
Are you okay?
Yeah, has somebody left the radio on in there?
All right, thank you. Can you just film from outside? You're not allowed to be out here.
Is this a police station?
Yeah, can you go outside? Thank you.
Stop giving me directives, PCSO. I am well within my rights to be here. Do not give me directives. Also, as well, a couple of things actually. Public relations. Anything I've said up until this point will be treated without prejudice. You didn't tell me that your body camera was being switched on.
Okay.
Also, as well, your policing policy and codes of practice. You will take your hands out of your pockets when you address members of the public, ma'am.
Can you please leave? Thank you.
I will only take directives when you are... In fact, I won't take directives from you.
Okay, brilliant.
I have more power than you.
Yeah.
You're here slovenly with your hands in your pockets.
This is a sign constable.
Yeah, well, you're not supposed to be comfortable. You're supposed to uphold particular standards, one of which is to not have your hands in your pockets when you speak to members of the public.
The cops kept ignoring questions, dodging accountability, and hoping their silence would make the man give up. When asked about the law, they offer nothing but empty space because why bother knowing the rules? You can just enforce them however you like. The man asks for an ID number, something they're required to provide, but the officers pretend they didn't hear it.
All right?
There are officers on their way, so if
That's
you don't
fine.
want to walk out now, then
No.
you will be removed.
Removed?
Yeah.
How's that?
All right, thank you very much.
Are you aware of the law? I guess not. What's your number, PCSO? PCSO? PCSO, I'm addressing you. What is your number, please? Cool. Are these guys for me? Yeah? Alright. So is somebody going to switch that radio off or not? Is somebody going to switch that radio off or no? Is somebody?
Oh, I will in a minute, mate. Somebody's on the radio.
Am I detained?
I'm just talking on the radio. I'll be with you.
Am I detained?
I'm just.
And there it is, the moment when pretending to have authority turns into outright force. The cops, now fully committed to their act, declare the man a trespasser on what was clearly not their property. When logic fails, they resort to their favorite tactic, making up legal terms they don't understand. Aggravated trespass is thrown around like a magic spell, as if saying it enough times makes it real. And when the man refuses to be bullied,
Talking on the radio.
Am I detained?
You have to wait a minute.
Am I detained? No, I won't be waiting. You're not going to speak to me properly. I'm not going to be waiting.
Sir, you are on private property.
No, I'm
going to ask you to leave.
Listen, can I just explain something?
No, you listen to me.
Oh, no,
You're
so
on
you want to
private
give me
property.
directives?
I'm directing you to leave my premises.
Your premises?
Yes. The police
You're
premises.
You are the owner of this premises, are you?
If you fail to leave as a trespasser, you remain here after I've directed you to leave. It is aggravated trespass.
No,
no,
excuse me. I have to listen. Can I just explain to you? You don't know the law
I'm
because
directing you to leave now.
No. We're gonna have a conversation first.
No, we're not.
Because
I'm
you're not gonna
asking you to
violate my. What are you doing?
I'm asking you.
Why are you assaulting me? Why are you assaulting me? Why are you assaulting me? Why are you assaulting me?
Right.
Why are you assaulting me?
Is there anything?
I'm walking out. Why are you assaulting?
I can reasonably do
Why
or
have you got
say
your hands
to
on my
get you to
chest?
leave? Is there anything
Why
I
have you
can
got your
reasonably
yeah?
do or say
Yeah, there is.
to get you to leave?
Yes, there is.
What is it?
Be lawful.
Get out of this.
the man was already leaving, but that wasn't good enough. The cops needed a spectacle. Grabbing, restraining, and barking the same command over and over, even though he was literally walking out. No matter how much he complied, it was never fast enough, never quiet enough. They didn't just want him gone, they wanted him humbled. And the real crime, challenging their authority.
Building and all that
Be
surrounding
lawful.
property.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Stay there.
What are you doing?
Grab an arm, mate.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Directed you to leave.
I'm leaving. I'm walking out. I'm literally walking out. I'm
Stop
literally
resisting.
walking
I'm
out.
gonna go on the floor as
I'm
well.
literally walking out.
You're going to go now?
I'm literally walking
You're
out.
going to go now?
Look, I'm literally almost out.
Well, you are out now.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you going to stay out or are you going to stay out and continue to shout
If
at
you
me?
uncuff me, I'll have a reasonable conversation with
No,
you.
I'm not having a reasonable conversation. I asked you to leave. You refused.
What law did I break, sir?
Trespassing.
Trespassing is a civil offence, sir.
Once I've directed you to leave.
You didn't give me a chance. You were stood
Once
in
I've
front of
directed
me.
you to leave, is aggravated trespass.
Sir, is your body camera on?
No,
Please
you're
activate.
recording for me though,
It's
aren't
not
you?
recording. The light's not on. Look.
Oh,
Please
what a
activate
pity.
your body worn.
Instead of acknowledging they had no legal basis for the arrest, the cops clung to their favorite excuse. He wasn't following directions. Directions that had no legal standing. Handcuffed for questioning authority, not for breaking the law. When pressed for an explanation, they switched tactics. Are you going to leave now? As if that hadn't been his plan all along.
My body wouldn't fall you on the whole
Okay.
time. There you are.
What crime have I committed?
No crimes.
So why am I in handcuffs?
Are you going to stay out of this premises?
Why am I in handcuffs,
Because you
sir?
weren't following my direction.
But I haven't broken the law, sir.
This officer has asked you to leave.
I haven't broken the law, ma'am.
You
And why am I in
are
handcuffs?
trespassing.
Please take the handcuffs
You
off
are
me. You've hurt me. Look.
trespassing.
You've hurt me.
I've
Look at my
directed you
hands.
to leave.
I'm out.
Are you going to stay out
I am
of here?
out.
What is your intention now if I take these off?
Go
Are
on.
you going to leave?
I'm going to go home.
Good man.
You'll be receiving a complaint about this, constable. What's your number, please?
There.
No, I can't see it anywhere. I'm looking at you. I can't see it.
There.
Where? 2406. What's your name?
2406.
Your name's 2406. What station are you from, 2406?
Headquarters.
Head Q, yeah? So you've already seen me there, and you've already seen
I
me.
haven't seen you today.
Okay.
It's the first time I've met you in my life.
But I've just been at HQ, and I've got told that I'm okay inside. In fact, would you like to see a video of a police constable showing me around the police car?
I want you to not come inside this.
The man knew exactly what had happened. His camera had been taken from his hand. But when he asked the cops who did it, suddenly nobody had answers. Just like the missing body cam footage, just like the non-existent crime, accountability had conveniently disappeared. He pressed them over and over, but the officers dodged the question like seasoned professionals. Instead of addressing the blatant theft, they shifted back to the trespassing excuse, pretending that being on public property was a crime.
Premise, which is private.
You're going to be receiving a
which
civil
you
claim,
know
sir,
what you-
for assault and battery and trespass to the person. Excuse me, lady. Which one of you? I just want to ask which one of them took my camera. Which one of you took my camera out of my hand, please? Which one of you took the camera out of my hand,
It'll
please?
be on your footage, mate.
No, but she's closed it. It's switched off. So which one of you
It'll
took the
still be on
camera out
your
of my hand,
footage,
please? Which one of you please took the camera out of my hand? Could you
Can you
please
see
tell
this
me?
line here?
Which one of you please took the camera out of my hand?
If you come back over this...
Which one of you please took the camera out of my
Come
hand?
back over this, you will be
Please
arrested.
get out my face.
right?
For what, sir?
For trespass.
Trespass is
aggravated nature.
You have to intend, sir. You have to intend. Who took my... Listen, who took my camera off me? Which one of you took my camera? Which one of you took my camera? Which one of you took my camera? Who took it off me and gave it?
However, what the cops didn't know was that this man wasn't going to let this slide. Instead, he immediately went to the police station to confront the officers who had tried to arrest him based on a made-up law. It's clear that this is going to be a long day and that this man has no intention of backing down until he completely exposes and holds the officers accountable.
Hi, is there anybody inside the Devizes police station? Okay, well, where do I go to get help? I've just been assaulted.
Oh, yeah, what can I help you with, sir?
Sorry, there's a police constable here trying to speak to me. I don't want to speak to him. He's just assaulted me. I need somebody else, please. She wants to speak to you.
How can I help you, sir?
Not somebody else, please.
You don't want to talk to me?
No, you're a violent bully, sir.
Hello there. This is the guy who was trespassing in the rear yard. I've directed him to leave. He's refused.
No, I didn't refuse.
So he's come round here to report an assault.
You handcuffed me, sir. What was the necessity for handcuffs?
I don't want to assist him, but he doesn't want me to assist him.
I need
I'm here as a
assistance.
police officer. I'm offering him.
You hurt me.
The man had come to report an assault, but instead he was the one assaulted once again. When he asked the obvious question, the officer fumbled for an answer. But the irony was undeniable. He was accused of resisting while they were the ones physically blocking his way. The truth was simple. The cops weren't interested in justice, just in making sure no one questioned their authority.
You hurt me, sir. How? No, because you hurt me. Whatever you fancy.
Do you want to take a report and take a phone number so somebody can talk to him?
No, I need a constable face to face. I need a sergeant. Could you contact your sergeant for me, please?
No.
No?
I'm on hold on your behalf at a minute.
That's fine. You're a public servant.
Oh, Crown Service.
Crown servant, Crown public, same thing. You just assaulted me, sir. Why?
Didn't assault me.
Could you explain to me what the necessity for handcuffs was?
You were resisting.
I wasn't resisting. I was trying to leave. You were...
The man stood his ground, demanding answers that never came. He had been grabbed, handcuffed, and forced out, yet no one could explain why. The officers clung to the excuse of trespassing, conveniently ignoring that it was a civil matter, not a crime. When asked what justified the use of force, the response was vague, shifting, and never quite making sense. Knowing he wouldn't get the truth from them, he asked for a supervisor.
You're in my way. It's all on my camera. It's all on my camera. I was asking you what crime I had committed, and you grabbed my arm. You tried to push me out.
To argue with me,
No, I didn't want you, sir. I want a supervisor. I'm asking you, please, can you get me a sergeant? Constable?
Do you want to pass me your phone number and I'll get
No,
in
sir,
contact?
please. I'll wait here.
sergeants in this
I'll wait here. That's fine. I can wait here. You don't have to stay on the scene, but I can sit on the step there and wait for a sergeant to come and assist me. I do not accept being assaulted, sir. I do not accept that.
Oh, I don't accept that.
I didn't assault you. You did. You handcuffed me, sir, when I wasn't under arrest. But what was your necessity for handcuffs?
Right. You were refusing my direction to leave a premise.
You were
where
in my
you
way.
Were trespassing.
Yeah, which is a civil matter. You can use reasonable force.
Are you going to listen to me?
I've told you 3 times, sir. I don't.
The officer had already lost control of the narrative, but instead of admitting fault, he doubled down. The man asked for his supervisor, a simple request, but it was met with hesitation because the last thing they wanted was oversight. But the man knew the game: provoke, escalate, and wait for an excuse to turn a bad situation worse. Yet, he stayed calm, refusing to take the bait.
I don't want to speak to you, I want a supervisor. Because you're speaking to me and it's rude not to speak back.
I'm on hold to someone.
Okay, but I'm asking you to radio for a sergeant. Okay, that's fine. Reasonable force, sir. Reasonable force.
Yeah.
You came, the way you flew out of that vehicle and flew at me, you're supposed to de-escalate. Do you know your 4 E's, sir?
I thought you didn't want to talk to
Do you know the 4 E's?
Get your supervisor.
I know what you're trying to do is you're trying to provoke me into saying something that you can do me on a Section 4 or Section 5 public order offence. That's what you're trying to do.
But instead of honoring it, the officer played the usual game, ignoring, stalling, and hoping he'd just give up. Well, he didn't. He pushed forward, reminding them of the injury they had just aggravated, only to be dismissed again. This wasn't about justice. It was about control. And as you'll see, their disregard for basic rights was only going to get worse.
You assaulted me, sir, and I need assistance from a sergeant. I need a sergeant here, please.
Told me that one.
Yes, and I've told you more than once and you've ignored me.
I'm on hold.
But you can radio through and get a sergeant for me.
You want me to hang up this phone call?
If you radio for a sergeant.
You want me to hang up?
If you radio for a sergeant, you can hang up, yeah. But if not, I'd rather you stay on the line. You know you hurt my chest and my shoulder. You know I've got a torn rotator cuff in my left shoulder. But you should, because you should engage. That's how you would know, sir. You need retraining, mate. Ridiculous. And it's no wonder people give the police so much hate when they act like this.
Every time the conversation neared accountability, the cop shut it down. But the man wasn't backing off. He called out their lack of professionalism and their inability to handle the situation without force. And now he was taking it further to civil court. Assault, battery, trespass to the person, theft. The officer scoffed, but deep down he knew that this wasn't going to go away quietly.
I mean, what did I even do wrong? What was I even doing? Yeah, because you say that every time I ask you a question that you don't wish to answer.
Well, I've answered you.
But
Every time I try to.
But I tried to. No. I tried to engage with you, and you started getting in my way and stuff like that. No, you listen, mate. I'll be honest with you. You need some more people skills. I'm going to see you in a civil court for that assault.
Okay.
Assault, battery, trespass to the person, and theft of my goods. You don't know trespass to the person. I don't know how many times I have to ask for a sergeant.
I'm on hold.
To 101. You can radio a sergeant and ask.
You want me to hang up?
If you radio for a sergeant, please, yeah.
You don't need to be a legal expert to know that it's part of police protocol to call a sergeant or deputy chief whenever a citizen requests it. However, these cops seem to have skipped a few lessons in the law. Who knows if this officer even contacted anyone on the radio? While it may seem excessive, you understand that these officers are prepared for anything, right?
The rail to the front of the borough station has asked me to hang up on the yellow 101 phone and contact yourself. If you'd like to speak to a sergeant. That is all enough.
No, there is a little bit more. I would like to speak to a sergeant about an assault.
Would you like me to ask him to remain here? Such a time as you could have a sergeant, perhaps?
The endless game of deflection continued. The man had been asking for a sergeant from the start, and now, suddenly, the officer acted as if he had refused one earlier. More word games, more stalling. When he finally agreed to speak with the sergeant, there was yet another delay. Of course there was. Accountability was the last thing they wanted. Instead, they chose power games over professionalism.
The sergeant that I got on the radio.
You're dismissed, mate. You're dismissed, mate. I just said you're dismissed, okay?
Would you like them to come back and talk to you now?
Is she going to come now?
It's the one you didn't want to talk to earlier.
With the blonde hair?
She hasn't got blonde hair.
Which one I didn't want to speak to earlier?
Would you like to talk to them?
I don't know who you mean. You said I spoke to earlier.
It's the only sergeant you've spoken to when you were around the back of the police headquarters.
She's got blonde hair.
It's a female sergeant.
Okay, well, if she's available, yeah.
Okay, I'll pass that message.
Is she going to come now?
I don't know, I haven't spoken to her yet.
Well, can I hear the message then?
You can if you were next to me when I make it.
Yeah, well, let's walk together then. We're like Bobby's on the beat, aren't we?
Yeah, it's like the bill.
Hey, here's a question for you, though, right?
When we get to the rear gate,
No, please don't give me, please don't give me directives. But stop giving me directives and have a conversation with me, why don't you? There's a bit of.
The officers had already decided who he was, and no amount of logic or conversation would change that. Still, he challenged them to actually engage instead of treating him like a problem to be removed. But predictably, they doubled down. Trespassing, aggravated trespass, and the same recycled nonsense repeated like a script they barely understood. When he asked for the officer's ID number to request body cam footage, another round of avoidance began.
Public relations here, Constable. Why not? Because you have a preconceived conception of me which you're not willing to drop. So I'm going to suggest engage with me. You might find me quite a pleasant person. You don't even know why I'm here, in all fairness. How do you know?
Police headquarters, or at Gable Cross police station,
Gable
or at
Cross?
Melksham.
No, I haven't been. I went to HQ, but
If you come past this gate,
listen,
you're trespassing.
I
told you not to.
Listen.
If you come past, it's an aggravated trespass.
Constable.
I will arrest you.
Constable. Excuse me, Constable. Excuse me, Constable. The one that had the body worn camera. I need his number so I can request the body worn.
I'm going to make that call for you now.
Can I have your number so I can request the body worn footage, Constable?
If you email in.
I need your number, sir. I know how to do a SARS request, but I need your number.
I'll provide it then.
No, you have to provide it now, sir. I need that constable's number. Where's your number, sir? 409. Is it 409?
You got it?
Is it 409?
Got it.
Was it 409?
Yeah, you tell me.
Well, I'm asking you. 409. All right, that wasn't hard, was it? I told you.
As soon as one officer finished talking to the man, another would step in and try to chase him away. Of course, it would be much simpler if these cops just learned the law, acted accordingly, and accepted that filming in public is protected under the First Amendment. However, your last hope that this will happen is quickly extinguished after a conversation with the next officer.
Sure. I've come in, I've taken some pictures of some police vehicles. I spoke to a PCSO.
Right.
She just walked in. The next thing I know, 2 police officers pulled up. One of them's jumped up. He stood right in front of me. He's grabbed me by the wrist. I've pulled my arm out. He's then put his hand on my chest. He's grabbed my arm again. He said to another police officer to grab my other arm. They've handcuffed me. They've pushed me out the gate, and then they've taken the handcuffs off me and told me to go away.
Okay.
That's not on. I've got it all on video.
Okay, I appreciate that, but that is private property.
No, but listen, I understand, but what was the necessity for handcuffs? An assault, battery. It's assault and battery. There has to be necessity for handcuffs, doesn't there? I mean, let me ask you, as somebody who's ignorant of the law, does there need to be necessity for handcuffs?
You can use reasonable force to remove someone from property.
Okay, but asking them to leave would be reasonable force if they're trespassing, which is a civil offence, right?
When they asked, did you leave?
He was stood in my way, I couldn't leave. This is why I'm asking to show you the video.
No, I don't disbelieve
He
what
put
you're telling me.
his hand on my chest,
Okay.
so I couldn't leave. I'm trying to edge around him.
Right.
There was 5 of them around me. I'm trying to edge around him. We're over by the wall, by the main bit.
Ultimately, I'm not in a position to...
The man tried to do the impossible, report a crime to a cop about another cop. Predictably, it went nowhere. The officer dismissed his claim before even seeing the evidence, deciding ahead of time that no assault had taken place. Never mind the video proof. Never mind the unnecessary handcuffs. If it was a cop who did it, it simply didn't count.
To speak for somebody else's actions because I
No,
wasn't
but
there.
you're a police constable and I'm trying to report a crime to you. Just because it's a policeman who assaulted me is by the by, sir.
No, I'm not saying that.
I have it on video, an assault on video. Would you like to see it?
No, I don't want to see it because at the moment, from what you're telling me and from what I've heard, the description of the incident on the radio, there was no assault. You were removed.
I was handcuffed.
Yes.
For what reason?
To ensure you didn't cause any harm to myself or my colleagues.
But I wasn't being angry or aggressive.
I wasn't there. I don't
No,
know.
I know,
I can't speak for their actions.
But you commented slightly when you said from what you'd heard over the radio. So
Yeah, in that you were on police property,
which is funded by the public. Like I've just been sorry to interrupt, but I've just been at. Can I just explain to you, right? I've just been at HQ half an hour ago. Spoke to a police constable. I forget his name. His name was Michael. His first name. He showed me around the car park. So I came here expecting the same.
Yeah.
The contradictions were obvious. Trespassing isn't a crime, and the police force is reserved for criminal offenses. The man knew it. The officer knew it, but admitting it would mean acknowledging that an unlawful use of power was committed. Instead, he scrambled for a comparison, something about removing someone from a private home. But police stations aren't private homes, and public accountability isn't optional.
Instead, I've got a cut. I've been handcuffed. I've been assaulted. For what reason?
You were handcuffed to remove you to prevent you from causing any harm, or.
But I wasn't gonna. I was doing a lawful activity.
We don't have people in the backyard.
Is it unlawful?
Well, it's trespass. It's civil. It's a civil.
So, but then it's civil.
But we can use reasonable force to remove you from.
I understand,
from police property.
I understand. Only for a criminal offence.
Sorry, my break.
Yeah, no worries.
Go ahead. Can I give you an update? Sure.
Only for a criminal offence. Criminal offence.
If it's the same as if for example, somebody was in your house and you didn't want them there.
I would have to remove their implied rights of access.
Yeah. So if you've told them that you don't want them to be in the house.
Yeah.
And they weren't.
The biggest problem with these officers was their persistent refusal to understand that the police station did not belong to them. If they had realized from the very beginning, everything would have been much simpler, wouldn't it? Nevertheless, officers with fragile egos always choose the harder path, believing it reinforces their authority, without even realizing how deep a hole they are digging for themselves each time.
Leaving,
yeah,
we could then come and assist.
But I understand. I understand that. But this is a public building.
It's not a public building.
It's a police station.
It's a police station,
which is funded by who? Yeah. Who pays for it?
The public pays.
Okay, so therefore, no. Wait a minute. Let me finish because I don't want this to escalate. Because
no, I don't want
although I know what my voice sounds like, but it's not my fault, okay?
I'm trying to have a reasonable conversation with you.
Yeah, no, I am also. I would like that as well, right? But the fact of the matter is you have to understand the disproportionality here, right? From my perspective, I go to the headquarters where the office for the Police and Crime Commissioner is, and police officers there on the same day show me around, right? I come to a different police station in the same town, and I go to exactly the same place, i.e. the car park, and I get handcuffed and thrown out. Now that is disproportionate, do you not think?
The officer deflected at every turn, refusing to acknowledge the issue, pushing responsibility elsewhere. Instead of addressing the complaint, he directed the man to a bureaucratic process designed to exhaust and discourage people from seeking justice. The system wasn't built for accountability, it was built for self-preservation. There was no real obligation to act, no real interest in justice. It was just another reminder that the badge came with protection, not just authority.
Well, that's your opinion of it.
No, it's a fact.
As I said, that's your opinion. If you believe it's disproportionate, then you're entitled to call and report and make a complaint.
But I'm trying to do that with you.
But I'm not the appropriate person to talk to. I'm not the person.
But you're a police officer and a crime has been. I believe a crime has been committed against me.
From what I understand of it, I don't think there has been a crime. If you believe that what the police officer has done was disproportionate, then that is entirely.
Can I ask you a question? A law-related question.
If you believe it's disproportionate the action that was taken, then you can call and make a complaint against that officer. The reason it's not.
Do you invite victims of rape of that? Call 101.
If you listen to me a second, it's not appropriate for me to be dealing with that because that is one of my colleagues. Okay, there is a specific department set up to deal with issues where police officers have been disproportionate or have done things in line of their duty that they.
So you're not obliged. You're not obliged to arrest a.
The refusal to even glance at the evidence spoke volumes. This officer wasn't looking for the truth. He had already decided on his version of events and wasn't about to let facts get in the way of that. But how could one station treat the man with respect while another saw him as a threat for doing the same thing? Simple. Professionalism was optional, and accountability is nothing more than an afterthought. And it was about to get even worse.
Police officer commits a crime in front of you. I'm offering to show you the crime.
No, I appreciate you.
I'm offering you to hear the whole conversation.
No, I appreciate that.
But you're refusing.
Yeah, I am refusing.
I don't understand why.
Okay, because as I said, from what I understand, there has not been no crime committed. You may say there's been a crime committed, but from the description of the incident I had, you've been removed using reasonable force off the property, handcuffs have then been removed, and you've been asked to wait outside the front of the station.
Could you explain something to me then, based on that, what you just said? So from what you've been told, you believe there isn't assault, and there isn't an assault, right?
Correct.
So can you explain to me, from what you've been told, what the necessity for the handcuffs were?
As I said, we apply handcuffs, you may or may not know, to prevent any harm, to prevent people from causing harm to us or prevent their escape. Clearly an escape was not part of the issue here. Okay, so I don't know, my colleagues might not have known you, so.
But we go on what we do know, not what we don't know.
Unfortunately, in our line of work, it doesn't always pan out like that.
So why is it not the same for general members of the public? Like why? I'm allowed to go in there. Like the fact that I've just been to the police headquarters. Wait a minute, please, don't interrupt me. I respected you when you told me not to interrupt you. I've just been to the police headquarters. I've just been there, and I got shown around and treated with. Actually, I said thank you to Michael because he actually treated me with courtesy and respect, as he should treat a member.
Before you hear the rest of this absurd conversation between the officer and the man, I just want to ask, have you ever encountered cops like this? You know, officers full of aggression, obsessed with authority, and convinced they're above the law. If so, share your experience in the comments, and we'll move on to the rest of the conversation.
Of the public who is just coming because they're interested in police vehicles. I cannot affect the police's preconception of what I am doing, right? Therefore, when you guys treat me based on a preconception, I have not been afforded a reasonable time. That gentleman just jumped out the car, stood. Would you mind if I get? He came right up to me like that, asked me what I was doing. He put his hand on my chest. How am I supposed to walk away? The gate's over there, and he's like that. How am I supposed to go out?
As I said, I'm not here to speak for my colleagues.
I know, but I'll show you.
I'm not disputing your version of events. I'm not disputing what you've said. However, what I'm telling you is there is a process to go through. If you have an issue with the way a police officer on duty has carried out their duties or have taken issue with actions they've taken against you, there is a process to follow, unfortunately, and it's not reporting it to another police officer, because then it doesn't. It's not a fair process, is it?
Of course it is. You all take oaths. You all take oaths to uphold the law.
Absolutely.
So when somebody, it's irrelevant whether it's another police officer. Let me ask you this: if you were with your partner, if you have one in your car, right? And let's say he'd had a really stressful day, or he'd had really stressful time at home, or whatever, right? And you interacted with a criminal who had done something wrong. You had your criminal handcuffed.
The officer finally admitted it. He wouldn't arrest a fellow cop no matter what. Instead, it would be handed off to professional standards, the same internal system designed to protect its own. The officer tried to justify it with the classic "most cops are honest" defense, but the man wasn't buying it. Honesty means facing the truth, and right now the cop is doing everything but that.
Behind his back, he wasn't a threat to anybody, and then your partner came up and punched him straight in the face. Would you arrest your partner?
No.
Why?
The reason being is because I would have to follow the same process as you. There are things I have to do. I would then report that to our professional standards, and they would then investigate.
So in that case, that means that I can set a policy saying that if I break the law, instead of you guys arresting me, what you have to do, because it's the way you're supposed to do it, is to contact my PR department, and then we'll release a statement. Do you see how that doesn't work, sir?
No, I appreciate where you're coming from. However, that is the process, and the reason that process is in place is because, although we're talking about 90% of the police officers, they are honest and.
No, that's not true.
Okay, well.
But that's not true though, because you're not being honest or decent right now.
How am I not being honest with you?
Because I'm offering to show you a crime.
Honestly, everything the officer was saying made no sense. I understand that his goal was to simply argue with the man at all costs, but he went so far that he revealed himself to be not just a bad cop, but also a bad person. His statements were contradictory, and even his sentences didn't fit together logically. Yet despite all this, he stubbornly continued down that path, even though it only worked against him.
And you're outright refusing to watch it.
That's not me being dishonest.
It's lying by omission, sir.
Not being dishonest,
it is. It's lying by omission.
What
You
have
say
I omitted?
no omission. You're lying
What
by
have I omitted?
the fact that your colleague committed a crime,
No,
and
I
I'm
haven't.
willing to show you.
I haven't omitted that.
You have, though.
I haven't. I disagree with what you're saying. That's not an omission.
It's the same thing.
Okay.
Because especially when you don't know, you weren't here, you didn't witness. I'm offering to show you an independent witness that doesn't tell any lies.
And I'm not telling you. I'm not saying. I dispute your interpretation of the facts. Okay.
I know, which is why we can look at it and see.
And I understand you've got that footage. However, like I've said, there is a process to go through. By all means, call up and report that as a complaint. Have that footage and show that they can then be dealt with. Okay. But it's not appropriate for me because it wouldn't be considered transparent if you reported, if for example.
So your loyalty is to the police and not the public, is what you're saying.
Not at all.
But you said that if you're.
The logic was laughable. If cops won't hold their own accountable, who will? The man wasn't just filing a complaint, he was reporting a crime. But rather than investigating it like any other offense, the officer brushed him off, steering him towards an internal system built to shield its own. Justice wasn't the priority here, covering for their own was. And here, the corruption ran only deeper.
You don't interrupt me, sir.
All right, yeah, go on.
What I'm saying is, it's not open and transparent. If you report one police officer's actions to another police officer directly that's out on duty, is it?
Why?
Because it's not.
But why? Just because it's not?
Because it's not. Because I wasn't there, okay, and I know you've got footage, but there is a professional standards department that deal with these sort of things.
With crimes. I'm not making a complaint. I'm trying to report a crime.
Yeah. I know what you're trying to report. The issue here is the conduct of a police officer whilst on duty. That's somebody was calling me. That's all.
Okay.
So the conduct of a police officer on duty. Okay, that needs to be reported in a specific way. It's not for me to investigate that. If a crime has been committed, then that can be investigated by a specific...
You know what's worst of all? The same cop who insisted the man should file a complaint if he truly believed a crime had been committed refused to listen, look at the evidence, or even offer the slightest help. It was a masterclass in hypocrisy. But the man wasn't giving up. He decided to wait for the sergeant. And if you think that meant justice was finally coming, you're wrong.
Specific department set up to deal with conduct of police officers whilst they're on duty and any crimes committed by police officers whilst they're on duty. Okay, so if you honestly believe that is what's happened and that you had a crime committed against you and it is a police officer, then I'm encouraging you to call 101 and report that. And that can be dealt with.
I don't make complaints. I make civil claims. Okay, I don't complain. I make civil claims, and I'll be making one against you as well for dereliction of duty.
That's fine.
Okay, you literally refuse to have a look at the crime. Like, I appreciate the fact that you're trying to be calm and collected with me. I do appreciate that because a lot of officers just get angry. So I respect you. What he did, he got angry, handcuffed me and pushed me out. But I appreciate you staying calm. But the fact of the matter is, sir, is you're not fulfilling your duty as a constable right now.
Well, as I said, I've given you the advice to the best of my knowledge of what you need to do to report this incident. Now, if you choose not to do that, that is entirely up to you.
Well, I'm waiting for a sergeant anyway.
Okay. Well, hopefully they will be here soon.
Well, I hope so.
In the end, the sergeant never showed, probably because he never even called. But that didn't matter. The man had already done what these officers feared most. He turned them into stars, just not the kind they wanted to be. Everyone knows how big clowns can be, and these officers put on quite the performance. But if you thought this was bad, just wait, because the next case is even worse. Speaking of dirty cops who picked the wrong suspect and paid the price, one man decided to visit the Metropolitan Police Department's 2nd District Station in Washington, D.C. on April 6 of 2019. His goal was similar to that of the man in the previous case, to test how well the officers understood constitutional rights. However, what he got in return was a shocking response.
Excuse me, can I ask you a question? Sir, can I ask you a question while you're standing on this median right here?
I'm not going to answer questions.
Sir, can you remove your hand from your pocket while you speak to me? Okay. Do you go to school around this area? Do you live in this area? What's your purpose of being right here? Alright, well, call.
I got an official coming.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
What's going on?
When I pulled up, you was right here taking pictures of the police officer. You came over here, you was taking pictures.
How you doing? Everything okay?
This is as far as he's gone.
He was over here too.
Sir, can I be honest with you? Sir, hello. I'm speaking to you. You can't. He's walking.
Can we help you with something, sir?
He's walking between, here and there.
Sir, it's something we can help you with.
A routine walk turned into an interrogation with no legal basis. The man was stopped, questioned, and treated like a suspect without cause. And when he refused to engage because he wasn't obligated to, officers grew frustrated. Their attempt to establish dominance crumbled when they realized he wasn't intimidated. The demands were pointless, the questions intrusive, yet they pressed on, desperate to justify their presence.
Sir, is there anything we can help you with?
I don't speak to police officers in the course of their duties.
Okay, let me, okay. You have a reason to be here, sir.
I'm here
Okay.
taking photos.
Okay, you done took photos. You're free to leave.
Yes, and free to leave means I'm also free to stay.
Like, sir, can I be honest with you? No one's arguing with you about your right to videotape, but where you're standing and how you're doing it is not correct. Do you understand? Sir.
Is it unlawful?
For you to just stand where you are? If you were to actually do it, on the sidewalk there, no one would have any issues.
The logic was crumbling fast. The man was free to leave, yet somehow not free to stay. Taking photos was legal, yet somehow not correct. Every excuse the officers threw at him contradicted the last, and when their words failed, they defaulted to vague claims about how he was doing it. When intimidation didn't work, they got in his face, hoping proximity would break him, and their desperation was about to get even uglier.
Alright, that's public property. This is public property.
No, sir.
I'm not
No,
obstructing any police business.
Sir, if you were to do it over there, closer to Idaho Avenue, on the sidewalk, there would be no issue.
Alright, I'm done talking.
Do you understand the difference?
I'm done talking.
Okay. Can I ask you your purpose? What's your purpose for being here?
Do you mind removing yourself from my personal space?
No, this is a public space, as you call it. And I'm entitled to stand here just as you are.
And I'm entitled to ask you to remove yourself from my personal space.
Okay, and that is no.
Okay. In case you want to say the camera is in your personal space, you were in my personal space, so that's why I'm asking you to remove yourself, just if you make an issue out of it. Okay, as long as you understand that you entered my personal space and not vice versa.
The officers had lost control of the situation, so they tried a new tactic, guessing his name, fishing for information he wasn't required to give. And when that failed, they ignored their own rules, refusing to provide badge numbers when asked. The hypocrisy was blatant. They demanded transparency from the public while hiding behind their uniforms. The man knew their policy, and they knew he was right.
What's your name, sir? Is it Mr. Cortez? Is that your name? Is it Stephen Cortez? Is that your name?
It seems like that's his name. Seems like it rung a bell.
Stephen Cortez. Could I get your badge number, please? Name. How about you, ma'am? Can I get your badge number and name? No. That is your policy, isn't it? To identify when the public requests it? Ma'am, can I get your name and badge number, please? Alright, well, we've got N. Allen for...
When pressed for accountability, the officers had no choice but to start identifying themselves except for one, who conveniently refused. The man knew the policy, and they knew it too, but enforcing rules on themselves was a different story. Then came the body cam issue, another tool meant for transparency, yet conveniently off when it mattered. The moment they realized he was watching closely, some cameras magically turned on.
436. How about you? Do you want to give me your name and badge number?
I'm Sergeant Johnson.
Sergeant Johnson?
Number S0477.
0477. How about you? What's your name and badge number, please?
It's Officer Tong.
Officer Tong, T-O-N-G?
Correct, 4092.
4092. So only Officer Allen here refused to identify.
Standing on the steps there, recording all the police cars and personnel that was coming in and out of the station. Now he's walked over from those steps to the median, and he's refusing to identify himself, refusing to...
Do you have your body camera on?
No, it hasn't.
Please turn it on.
No, first of all, you're not going to direct anything.
When you're interacting with the public, I believe it's department policy.
Interact with you like
I see you've got your body camera on, right, ma'am?
What else? What can we help you with? Talk over here.
Right now, can I get your name and badge number?
I'm Lieutenant Stewart. Come on over here so I can get out the van full way so we can bring in prisoners and stuff.
I think I'm fine right here.
Okay, what is that we can help you with, sir?
Nothing I need help with other than your badge number right now.
L358. 328. So what else that we can help you with while you're on?
The man's request was simple, just the names and badge numbers of the officers involved, a basic demand for accountability. Rather than addressing the issue, they shifted focus, suddenly acting as if standing in a public space was a crime. But before they could twist the narrative any further, another lieutenant arrived. And let's just say things were about to take an even darker turn.
The property. What would you like to do?
Well, your officer refused to identify Officer Allen over here.
Okay, that's Officer Allen. So
yeah.
What else do you need from her? I mean,
nothing else. Nothing else I need.
Something of that nature. You're doing something for school.
I'm not gonna answer any questions, ma'am.
Okay. Then what is it that you need for us to help you? Because
I don't need anything more from you. Just the name and badge number of anybody who interacts with me is all I need.
I mean, are you doing a school project or anything?
I'm not going to answer any questions.
Okay, so you don't want to answer any questions, but you want to stand here? Is that what you're? I'm trying to figure out what's your intent.
My intent is anything lawful.
Okay, but you don't want no help from the police department?
No.
Okay, and so you want to stand here and video the officers? Is that what we're saying here?
I want to video anything I can see from a public area.
Excuses kept evolving, but the goal remained the same: get him to leave. First, it was about safety, then obstruction, then a vague suggestion that he was there for something else entirely. The officer wasn't enforcing the law, she was searching for a reason to enforce it. And when none of the accusations stuck, she pivoted to a personal angle, implying the man must dislike the police.
Okay.
Which this is.
Okay, well, let me just say this. So we're going to be bringing prisoners in back and forth, and I can't have you standing around here. And if you want to go over here, you're great. You're fine. You'll be out of the area when we bring in prisoners. If a car comes through here and you're standing there in front of and you're blocking the view, then you're going to be obstructing. But I don't think you're here for that. I think you may be here for something else.
Sorry, if I'm blocking the view?
No, if the cars are driving by.
Yes, I don't intend to block any cars.
Okay, so you just want to hang out and just deal with the police. I mean, you want to do a ride-along with us?
I don't have any desire to deal with the police. Your police officers seem to have a desire to deal with me.
Are you under Like, why would they have a problem to do? I'm not understanding that.
I don't know either. I don't understand either.
Okay,
You don't
so-
understand why we're asking you what you're doing here?
I don't understand why you're
you
dealing with me right
What I'm trying
now.
to figure out is why you picked this spot of all spots.
I don't wish to answer questions.
You don't deal with the police. You basically you kind of
Not intentionally.
You don't like police. But
I
you're here.
didn't say that. I
you're
said I'm not.
on police-
I wasn't trying to answer questions, and then you guys
Go
correct.
around with us to see what we do? Would you like to do
No.
that?
When intimidation didn't work, they switched tactics, offering a ride-along, as if a front-row seat to their version of policing would make him comply. It was a transparent attempt to redirect the situation, but he wasn't interested. The shift in tone was almost comical. After treating him like a potential criminal, they suddenly wanted to show him what they do. And when that failed, they returned to repeating empty directives.
No, no.
Would you want to?
Not at all.
Do you want to sit down and find out why we do what we do? I mean, I'm more than welcome.
Just
to
have a
invite
desire
you
to do what I'm doing right now.
But what is that?
Recording anything I can see from a public area and anything lawful beyond that.
Okay.
So you know not to go back here.
I was actually kind of wondering, because that says
you
police
cannot. I'm gonna tell you
vehicles.
straight up. No, you cannot.
Okay, so that says police vehicles only. Is there a no trespassing sign somewhere?
No,
Do not
you
go
can't-
past this
you can't
area
go
right
back
here.
there.
All right, well-
that's the officers.
You've been
Can you demonstrate?
You've been informed.
Can
Why
you?
don't we come over
All right.
here?
Well, I haven't gone back there, but I'm just
Is it under
wondering.
some type of influence or something?
I have no idea.
I had no clue.
Okay. No,
Because when I pulled in, he was standing here on the steps. There was another vehicle coming out. He was taking a picture. Then he was taking a picture here. Then he got
what is it
here.
that we can help? Because I like to help
Came
you,
over
if
here.
anything.
I don't need help with anything, ma'am.
Okay, well then do not go past this sign into that area. If you want to come in here into the station,
Back there
Just don't go
either.
past this area. See where this fence will be at? That's an indication that you do not come past this area. Where the fence will be locked up right here. That means no one is allowed here.
All right. Well, you should probably close the fence if it's a restricted area.
You understand me?
After all the back and forth, the cops finally admitted that they had known all along he wasn't breaking any laws. But if you think that meant they'd let him go and move on, think again. Their bruised egos weren't about to take the hit quietly, and if anything, this was just the calm before the storm, because the real fun was only about to begin.
sir, would you like to do a ride along with us? We can kind of show you what we do out here. Would you like
I've
to do
already
that?
refused that, ma'am.
Huh?
I've already refused that.
Okay, you're gonna refuse? Okay. We're gonna make this really easy at this point. You ready to go home? Oh, okay. I thought you were on your way home. Okay. All right. Now just go ahead and let him sit right on there, whatever he's gonna do, and then we're gonna deal with this.
Yeah, because basically, I didn't want Alan to approach me.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Just let him stand right there and whatever he needs to do. This is public space. You can stand wherever you want to in public space. But sir, please don't go in the back, okay? You can do whatever you like to do, but do not go in the back. So yeah, he can stand right there in public space if he like to. Okay? All right. Yeah. You just come on and stand where you want to stand. Currently, he's harassing the police.
Is that a department issue phone?
It is.
All right. Make sure you hold on to that picture. I might want for you.
One of the officers even pulled out his phone to record the man, something he had no business doing while on duty, in uniform and already equipped with a body cam. But if he thought that would intimidate the man into leaving, he was dead wrong. The man stood his ground, filming just as before, and it wouldn't be long before the police, frustrated and out of options, decided they had had enough.
Alan.
The moment polite requests didn't work, they escalated. Again, a female officer tried the respectful approach, framing it as a simple favor. But when that didn't make him comply, things got physical. No laws had changed, no new offenses had been committed, just their patience wearing thin. Instead of admitting they had no authority to stop him, one officer put hands on him, using force where words failed.
Hello, sir. You gotta direct your attention to the woman speaking behind you.
Sir, please do not film back there. I'm not going to ask you anymore. Please, I've asked you nicely the first time, and I'm going to be respectful of what you're trying to do. Maybe you're inspired a media guy. I'm not sure. But I'm asking you not to film in the back where the officers are. I'm asking you not.
Hey, excuse me, they're bringing a van for you. Just
Alright.
move off this area, okay?
I'm not obstructing the way here.
Hit by the wagon. Let's
Sir, don't touch me.
move that.
Sir, don't touch me. You're in my personal space and this is not necessary.
want you to get
I'm
hit.
on the sidewalk. If I get hit, then the van's on the curb. Sir, that was unacceptable. Don't touch me, sir.
The pattern was predictable. First came the fake politeness, then the physical intimidation, and now outright demand. When they couldn't control his actions, they tried to control him, but he wasn't falling for it. Invoking his Fifth Amendment rights shut them down immediately, exposing how little legal ground they actually had. And with their authority slipping, their next move would be even more desperate.
Sergeant Oliver, please remove yourself from my personal space. The van is clearly passed, sir.
I want to make sure to put down the area. See where the fence is over there? Please don't go beyond the fence.
What you doing? Give me a camera. Take it off. You have ID? Do you have ID on you?
Fifth Amendment.
Huh?
Fifth Amendment.
First Amendment?
Fifth. I assert my Fifth Amendment rights.
No problem. Okay.
The moment the man again refused to comply, the officer abandoned all pretense of following the law. No crime, no justification, just hands in pockets, rifling through his belongings like his rights didn't exist. This wasn't just intimidation anymore, it was a blatant illegal search. The man invoked his rights, but it didn't matter. They weren't asking anymore, they were just taking.
I want a public defender immediately.
A public defender immediately, huh?
What is your name?
Captain Burnett, it's on video right here. You have ID on you.
I'm not
You have a
answering
name.
any questions.
You have a name.
Not answering any questions. I don't allow any searches or seizures of any of my possessions. All right, he's illegally searching my back right pocket. He's removing my wallet.
I'm going to release your hand. Keep your hands at your side, please.
This was an illegal detention. He's now removed my ID from my wallet.
Write this down.
He's
and everything?
removed a card from my wallet.
Absolutely. That's exactly what we're doing.
This was an illegal search.
Not illegal search.
Illegal search.
Even though the cop illegally detained and searched the man just to soothe his bruised ego, it backfired spectacularly. He found nothing and was forced to back down, even though he never had the right to search in the first place. But the real chaos erupted when even the female lieutenant dismissed his actions, making it clear he had no justification. So, what do you think? Does this cop deserve punishment? If you think this was bad, just wait until you see what's in our next video. Some cops take things to a whole new level, proving there's no limit to how far they'll go. So stay tuned.